Good evening, Shravani. Sound is audible? Okay. So we will try to revise what we have done till now. Ravi Kumar, good evening. Shweta. So what we have revised is we have done yesterday two important laws. One is called Faraday's law and the other one is called Lenz's law, right? The first one is called Faraday's law. Good evening, Rutvik. So what was found in Faraday's law was if you have a closed circuit, like this, closed loop, and if magnetic field is passing through this, magnetic field is passing through the loop. Okay, how will you pass magnetic field? Bring one magnet or bring a current carrying wire, because current carrying wire also produces magnetic field. So bring one magnet here or bring some current carrying wire, then magnetic field will pass through this loop. Agree, right? Okay. So since magnetic field is passing through the loop, there will be some magnetic flux through the loop. So magnetic flux through the loop will be what formula? BA cos theta. BA cos theta. Sometimes magnetic field and area vector will be in same direction. If magnetic field and area vector are in same direction, then you write here cos 0. Then it will be B into A. Now students, depending on the loop, if it is a circular loop, pi r square you write. If it is a rectangular loop, length into breadth you write. Okay. So when there is magnetic flux, and the most important word here is change. If magnetic flux changes with time, then they found there is current produced in the circuit. There is current produced in the loop. Since there is current, we have to say there is a EMF. Understood or not? So Faraday's law says the EMF is equal to the change in the magnetic flux divided by the time interval. For anything to change, students, it always takes time. So this is the change in the magnetic flux. This is the time interval. If you divide these two, that is called rate of change of magnetic flux. Rate of change of magnetic flux. So according to Faraday's law, EMF produced in this circuit, is equal to rate of change of magnetic flux. Now, sometimes the flux will be given as a function of time, like this, 2t square, like that. Then we have to write what formula to find instantaneous EMF? What formula? d phi by dt. Understood or not? So this is Faraday's law. However, students, in exam, if they ask you write Faraday's law mathematically, then you must put what sign here? What sign you have to put? Plus sign, minus sign, minus. The reason why you have to put minus sign is because of another law called Lenz's law. So what does this Lenz's law says? The Lenz's law says the polarity of the EMF, the direction of the induced current, or the polarity of the EMF. Polarity of the EMF means plus minus or minus plus. Depending on the polarity of the EMF, current can flow either this way or this way. So the direction of induced current will be such that it will oppose the change in the magnetic flux which produced it. Oh, sorry, I have not muted others, right? So the direction of the induced current will be such that it will oppose the change in the magnetic flux that produced it. So who produces this EMF? Change in magnetic flux. Change in magnetic flux. What this EMF will do? It will oppose the change. Now change can be of two ways, right? It can either increase or it can decrease. So if the flux is trying to increase, if this flux is trying to increase, the current produced here will try to oppose the increase in the flux. Similarly, if the flux is trying to decrease, if the flux is decreasing, then the current induced in the loop will try to oppose the decrease also. So it opposes increase also, it opposes decrease also. In short, what we should say, it opposes change in magnetic flux. Okay, students? So keep this in mind, Lenz law and Faraday's law. Then quickly remind me that if I take a loop and I have a magnet here, north pole is this side. If I move the magnet near the coil, this side of the coil will act like north or south. This side of the coil will act like north. Why it will act like north? Because when this north is coming closer, the magnetic flux here will increase. So to oppose that, this will also act like north. So that this north will repel this magnet coming towards it. So current will flow. If you see from this side, current will flow anti-clockwise. Okay, so this will be coming for 1 mark. Okay. Yesterday we did, I think, question number 2, right? Yes or no? Okay. So let us do question number 3 now. Which answer? That answer means what, Tejaswani? That answer means? Write properly. We have time. I can read your message aram se. Second one, last answer. Huh? Second one, last answer. Estimate the magnitude of the induced EMF. So EMF will come, if you have done the calculation, 3.8 into 10 power minus 3 volt. And induced current will be what? Induced current will be EMF divided by resistance. So whatever EMF you found, divide that by resistance. Is it correct? Yeah, correct only. 3.8 into 10 power minus 3 volt. Okay, fine. And once you get the EMF, how to find the current? Divide the EMF by resistance. Ohm's law, whatever we have studied in current electricity chapter. Okay, let us see question number 3 now. Okay, before I continue, one small thing I want to say. With AAC students, I already have a group where I discuss with them few things. After this class, I'm going to talk to them separately. Carmel students and Cordial students, and which is the other one? Carmel is there, Cordial is there, and anyone from that college? Oxford, yeah. Please make a group with your students, those who are attending also, not attending also. If possible, make a group and try to add me in that group. Okay. So that will really be helpful for you also to interact or to ask some doubts and all, because with AAC students, no, I am able to interact on a daily basis. With Carmel students, I told one of the students long back, if possible, make a group and include me. She told, we will see, sir, like that. But group was not made. So if you guys want, you can make a group and you can add me branch wise. Okay. Thank you. Question number 3. Let us see question number 3 now. A long solenoid with 15 turns per centimeter. So N is equal to 15 turns per centimeter for a long solenoid. So let us draw one solenoid. So this small n is called number of turns per unit length. Since it is per centimeter, let us convert it into SI unit. So centimeter means 10 power minus 2 meter. Minus 2 will go up 1500 per meter. Correct now? So this many turns are there per meter. Has a small loop of area. Oh, area is 2 centimeter cannot be the correct data. Area cannot be 2 centimeter, right? It should be 2 centimeter square. So this solenoid has a small loop of area 2 centimeter square, you write, placed inside the solenoid. So that is a separate area. So let us try to draw in a different way. So here, let me do like this. Okay. So this is a small loop. Small loop. And area of this loop, let me write as A. Okay, students. So that area they have given area of the loop. Okay, don't confuse with area of the solenoid. They have given you area of a small loop which they have kept inside the solenoid. 2 centimeter square, which will be 2 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. Now, how they have kept the small loop? They have kept it inside the solenoid, normal to its axis. Normal to its axis means perpendicular to its axis. So, if this is your solenoid, axis matlab this is called axis of the solenoid. So, the loop is kept perpendicularly like this, the way I had shown. Not like this, okay? Not like this, like this. So, the loop is kept like this, as I have shown you. By the way, students, if this was radius, what will you write? Pi r square. But let me assume this number is area. Okay, now what they are saying, if the current carried by the solenoid, let us say current here is I. If the current I changes from 2 ampere to 4 ampere, so what will be change in current? Change in current. The current here is changing from 2 ampere to 4 ampere. So what will be the change? 4 minus 2. So 2 ampere. So that is the change in the current, I2 minus I1. In what time they told? 0.1 second. That is your delta t. Delta t is time taken. Either you can say time taken or you can say time interval. That is 2 seconds. So they are changing the current here, remember. So what they are asking, what is the induced EMF in the loop? Induced EMF in the loop. Now, why will there be induced EMF? Very simple. Once current will flow in the solenoid, what will be produced inside the solenoid? Magnetic field. Magnetic field. And if the current will change, like they are saying in the question, if the current will change, this magnetic field will change. And if the magnetic field will change, magnetic flux through this loop, remember, because they want induced EMF in the loop. So what they want? EMF in the loop. Okay, now, so we have to find change in magnetic flux in the loop. Very simple. So let us calculate first magnetic flux in the loop or through the loop. Magnetic flux through the loop. What is the formula? Magnetic field into area of this loop. Don't take this area. This area. Okay, students, if this loop has some number of turns, suppose in some other exam if they ask, if this loop has n number of turns, then multiply here with n. Here no need to do. Now, I hope all of you remember, recently you have written midterm exams also. So magnetic field produced by a solenoid. What is the formula? Mu naught Ni. Mu naught Ni. Super. So when this current will change, you can see this flux will also change. So there will be EMF. Okay, numbers I need to remember. Time is 0.1 second. No? Oh, okay. Thank you for saying now only. After finishing the problem, if you say it will be difficult. So time interval is 0.1 second, students. So this is the flux. So what is the formula for EMF induced? Magnitude only we will calculate. That will be change in flux divided by time interval. Now here constants are, these ones are constants. Right, students? So constants you can take it outside. So constants you take outside. Mu naught Na, change in current divided by delta. So please substitute this here. Okay, this flux here. Then constants you take outside. 1500. Okay. So let us calculate. Value of mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. This constant value will be given in exam, but still try to remember. Mu naught value. This is number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. That is 1500. Area is 2 into 10 power minus 4. Change in current is 2 ampere. Time interval is 0.1. Okay, please calculate. Anyone got the answer? Fifteen twos are 30, 32s are 60, 64s are 240, right? So you will get here 240 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 minus 4 minus 11 plus 2 zeros minus 9 divided by 0.1. So 24 pi into 10 to the power 10 will be minus 8. This is 10 power minus 1. That will go up plus 1 minus 8 plus 1 minus 7. So this much volt I am getting. Just multiply with pi. 7.5 into 10 power minus 6, right? Okay. So 7.5 into 10 power minus 6. Yeah, that is the answer given also. Fine, students. Home exercise, please try. Don't keep it pending for, tomorrow like that. Especially those who are interested only in board exams, you should focus on this home exercise. Entrance students, you can practice MCQs, so that will cover these ones. Done? Okay. Okay, next topic is for a 3-mark derivation that is called motional EMF. Motional EMF. Simple derivation and very important for entrance also, the formula. For entrance, the formula only we have to remember, right? Okay. So first let me derive, and as we derive and complete, we will automatically come to know the definition. Okay. So what we will do is, we will take a rectangular frame like this, rectangular frame, and we will put a slider here. This is a slider. So you can move this slider this way. Okay, students? Now let us apply magnetic field, constant magnetic field this way. So this way means cross or dot, cross, everywhere, okay, everywhere. So you have a uniform magnetic field, capital B. So capital B is your uniform magnetic field produced by some magnet that I don't worry right now. some magnetic field is there, and let us say this length of this conductor is L. I can show you here, but let me show you here. So this is L. Okay. Let us put a resistor here. R. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this slider with a velocity V. So V is velocity of the rod. Velocity of the rod. Which rod? Let me name these points A, B, C, D. Of the rod BC. V is velocity of the rod BC. Okay, now, right now, let us see what will happen. As the rod will move, this distance will change. Agree or not? As the rod will move, this distance will change. So let us call that distance instantaneous distance x. X. Okay, students. Now x will change or not change as the rod is moving? Obvious question, sir. X will change. Okay, na? Fine. Okay. So magnetic flux through this circuit ABCD will be equal to, magnetic field is this way. This is the area. Right? Area vector will be also this way only, perpendicular to the plane. So I can write BA cos 0. If you want to write 180 also, it is okay. Doesn't matter, because we want only the magnitude of the EMF. Direction we have to find using Lenz's law. So don't worry about minus sign will be there or plus sign will be there. The important thing is what? Magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane. Area vector is always perpendicular to the plane of the area. So area vector also perpendicular. Magnetic field also perpendicular to this. Matlab they are in same direction. So cos 0 I will write. Now what is this area? When the rod is here, what is this area? Quickly tell me from the diagram. This is length. This is your breadth. So it will be L into X. L into X. Correct? Na? Cos 0 is 1. Now, as the rod will move, this X will change. This length is constant, I know. Magnetic field is also uniform, I know. But as the rod will move, this X will change. Therefore, this flux will change. And if flux will change, according to Faraday, EMF will be induced in this circuit. So EMF induced, E modulus only I am interested, will be equal to, since it is changing, we will calculate instantaneous. d phi by dt. So let us substitute this here. What is the flux? B into L into X. Okay, now what are the constants in the problem? B and L are constants. Take it outside. What is dx by dt? What is dx by dt? Dx represents a small displacement. Dt represents small time taken. Small displacement by small time taken will be nothing but instantaneous velocity. Not dv, instantaneous velocity. Velocity is dx by dt, na? Not dv, v it will be. So the formula will be, EMF will be equal to BLP, where V is instantaneous velocity of the rod. Instantaneous velocity of the rod. Okay, students? So this is called motional EMF. Motional EMF. This item. Done? Okay. So now, how to define this? One thing you see very carefully. The rod is moving with velocity v. Okay. Magnetic field is into the board. And the length of the rod is here. This is the length of the rod. So the length of the rod, let me mention it here. Note, in order to use this formula, it is important that length of the rod, if I call it a vector, you can take this way or that way. Length of the rod, velocity vector, and magnetic field vector must be what? Mutually perpendicular. Mutually perpendicular. You can see length of the rod is like this, velocity is like this, magnetic field is like this. So if this is along y-axis, this is along x-axis, this is along z-axis. Correct now? So these three vectors are mutually perpendicular. Then only you can use this formula. Okay? Some other things we will find now. So this is the EMF. Now, once there is EMF, there will be current in this circuit. So some extra things we will calculate. Okay, extra, if I write no, you will think it is not for board exam. Note. So some additional quantities we can calculate. Let us calculate the induced current. EMF divided by. Students, listen carefully. If this rod has resistance, you have to include the resistance of the rod also. But for NCERT, they have neglected the resistance of the rod. They have only included this resistance. So if the rod's resistance is neglected, then only this R will come, which will be BLV divided by R. So try to remember this new formula for today. BLV, 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 like that you keep saying for some time. So EMF is equal to BLV. Again, for that, it is important that length, velocity, and magnetic field are mutually perpendicular. Mutually perpendicular. What about the direction of the current? For that, we can use Lenz's law. So listen carefully now. Since this rod is moving that side, the flux here is increasing or decreasing. Since the rod is moving this way, flux is increasing or decreasing. Check the area. Flux is magnetic field into area, increasing. So if the flux is increasing, which flux is increasing? This flux is increasing because magnetic field is inside. So if this flux is increasing, to oppose this flux, I need to create this kind of magnetic field, induced magnetic field. So current must flow this way. Okay. So again, let me repeat. If the rod is moving this way, then this area is increasing. So this flux will be increasing. Now see which flux is increasing. According to my diagram, I have shown magnetic field into the board. So this flux is increasing. So if this flux is increasing, your induced current should flow in such a way that it opposes the change in the flux. So to oppose this flux, the current should produce this magnetic field, induced magnetic field. Okay, so current should flow which way? This way. Understood or not? Quickly tell me. Last class, if you have attended, aram se you will understand, but now also I have explained. Now, suppose you find difficulty. Suppose no, sir, increase in flux, again, what you are saying is little difficult. Then there is one help. You can use something called Fleming's, be careful, Fleming's right hand rule. Right hand rule. So to find the direction of the current, okay, you can use Fleming's right hand rule. But which current? Please remember induced current. So sometimes no, later on you will be confused, left hand to use or right hand to use. So let me remind you, left hand was used to find force. Force when a current, when a current carrying wire is kept in a magnetic field. Remember or not? Left hand rule is used to find force on a current carrying wire when it is kept in a magnetic field. Correct? No. This one is used to find induced current. Okay. So first finger like before will be magnetic field. So this will be magnetic field. Okay. Second finger will give you the induced current. Induced current. And thumb is used to find the motion. Thumb will denote motion. So out of these three, if you know two of them, one you can find. Understood or not? Usually our aim will be to find what? Induced current. Yes or no? They will say conductor is moving this way. Conductor is moving this way. Which way the current is flowing, they may ask. Sometimes they may say current is flowing this way. Which way the rod is moving? Correct, no? Shweta, you can use any one, no? If two of them are given, third one you can find. But usually our aim in this topic is obviously to find the induced current. So let us check here. All of you try to try yourself now. First finger, magnetic field inside the board. Where is the motion? Motion is right side here. So current will be this way. Correct, no? So current in this rod will be this way. Understood everyone? Magnetic field, motion, current. But if you use left hand, you will get wrong answer. So current will be this way. So you will come to know the direction of the current. Okay, fine. So this will be the induced current. And direction I have told you, you can also use Lenz law. Actually, Lenz law, this was found from Lenz law only. This trick was found from Lenz law only, right? But every time using Lenz law may be a little difficult for students. So we have invented this thing called Fleming's right hand rule. Okay. So I wanted to find current, which I have found. Now listen carefully, students. If this is a bulb, if this was a bulb with some resistance, what will happen? The bulb will glow. So if the bulb is glowing, it means some power is consumed by the bulb. So let us calculate electrical power consumed by the bulb. So electrical power consumed by the bulb. All of you know the formula for this. Power equals to current, we know already. So current square into R. Agree, right? Power equal to I square R. What is current? EMF divided by resistance. EMF was BLV square by R square, whole square, no? This was the current which I found in the first part into R. So this will be, power will be equal to B square L square V square by R. One R will cancel. This is your electrical power. Let us put E. Fine, students? Okay. Once, now something very interesting you see. Once there is, this is very interesting, listen carefully please. If there is current in a straight conductor and it is kept in a magnetic field, see here, magnetic field is there, straight conductor is there, current is flowing, then it will experience a magnetic force. Remember brother-in-law formula, yes or no? Remember or not? So they may also ask you to calculate what is the magnetic force. Magnetic force on the rod. Which rod? BC. In vector form, if I write I L bar cross B bar, this is the formula. But let us calculate magnitude. I L B. What is the angle? Length vector is taken along the current. So length vector is here. Magnetic field is here. So angle is clearly 90 degree. So sine 90 degree. Right? Length vector of the rod is here. Magnetic field is here. Angle is 90 degree. So magnetic force will be ILB. And what was I? How much I we got? EMF divided by resistance. EMF is BLV divided by R into LB, which on further simplification you can write B square L square V by R. That would be the magnetic force on this rod. Okay, my classwork now is to find the direction of this force on this rod, where it will be. Please try. L bar cross B bar. You can use cross product rule, or you can use this Fleming's left hand rule. So if I use cross product rule, then where it will be? L bar is here. L bar is taken along current. So L bar is here. Magnetic field is here. So two vectors are like this. So if I do L cross B, it will be this side. So magnetic force will be this side. Magnetic force will be this side. Okay, this magnetic force. And if you use Fleming's left hand rule, then also you will get magnetic field is inside, current is up, force will be left. Correct? Huh? Current is up, magnetic field is inside. That I cannot show you, sorry. Force will be left side. So magnetic force is left side. And without knowing this or left hand rule, you should 100% accept it should be left side only. Why? Because the current will flow in such a way that it will oppose the change. Remember or not? So if the rod is going this side, this magnetic force will try to oppose it. So it has to be this side. Agree everyone? If the rod was moving this way, try to do that part at home. If the rod was moving this way, current will flow in opposite direction. Then the magnetic force will be this side. So without knowing any rule or something, you know already the current flow will be such that the magnetic force on the rod has to oppose the change according to Lenz's law. So it has to be left side. Which means, students, which means if you simply push this rod, push it, tuck like that and leave it, what will happen because of this force? It will slow down. Correct? Now, if you are running this side and there is a wind coming this way, then you will slow down. So the rod will slow down and stop. As long as the rod is moving, there will be induced current. So the bulb will glow. Once the rod will stop, the induced current will be zero. What if you want to continuously light the bulb? Suppose you want to continuously light the bulb. Then you have to apply exactly same force in this direction. Agree or not? Then what will happen? What will be the net force now? If this is 5 Newton, you have to apply exactly 5 Newton. Then what will be the net force? Quickly tell me. Net force will be 0. And if net force is 0, what did Newton's first law say? If net force is 0, the body will continue with constant velocity. Right? If net force is 0, acceleration will be 0. If acceleration is 0, final velocity should be same as initial velocity. Because final velocity is initial velocity plus at. So if acceleration is 0, velocity final will be same as initial. So students, if you want the bulb to continuously glow, then you have to apply external force against the magnetic force. Let us calculate now how much mechanical power you have to spend. Last one. Mechanical power by the external source. Which source I am talking about? I am talking about that person who has to move the rod. So whoever is moving the rod, he has to apply force. So what will be the mechanical power? Let me write M. I hope you remember first PU formula. Force into what, students? Force into what is power? Velocity. Okay. Those who have forgotten, look here. Power is work done by time. Work done by external force is force into displacement. Displacement divided by time is velocity. And since it is uniform velocity, you can write directly. But whatever force you are applying should balance this force. So this should be equal to magnetic force. What was the formula for magnetic force? ILB. I is EMF by resistance. EMF is BLV by R. So this is B square L square V by R into V. That will be B square L square V square by R. That's it. Now I want all of you to check the mechanical power spent by the person, external agency, Pankaj sir or whoever it is, some machine also it can be. So compare this mechanical power with the power consumed in the bulb. Compare those two. Power consumed by the bulb and mechanical power spent by the person. What they are? Same. And that makes us happy or sad? That makes us happy because that means conservation of energy. Conservation of energy is valid. So from at the last point you can mention from conservation of energy we can see that mechanical power is equal to electrical power. Okay. Again, for board exam, they will only ask the definition of EMF. Sorry, the derivation of EMF. But if they ask one or two extra things, please write down. Okay. Let me give you definition now. So what is motional EMF? The EMF produced in a rod conductor, let me write no. Because if you take plastic rod, then nothing will happen. Plastic rod. The EMF produced in a conductor, the EMF produced in a conductor when it moves in a plane. See, when it moves in a plane, matlab what? This plane, no, this plane it is moving. See, when it moves in a plane perpendicular to magnetic field. In my diagram, it was like this. The rod was moving like this. So this was the plane and magnetic field was perpendicular to the plane. Correct, na? So the EMF produced in a conductor when it moves in a plane perpendicular to magnetic field. Again, try not to use such symbols in exams. Some teachers do not like it. Unnecessarily, you will lose marks. Done, students? Okay. some extra things you see. What if I just move a rod without any loop here, without any external circuit, without any resistor? Suppose I just move the rod with velocity v in a magnetic field. This is the length of the rod. Okay, so if I move only the rod, EMF will be, as long as this length and this velocity and this magnetic field, as long as they are perpendicular, formula will be BLB. Now the derivation of this you don't have to do, because you have, if they ask you to derive this, you have to put this one and do it, no problem. But there is another way of deriving this formula. Let me try to show you. Look carefully. If the rod is moving with some velocity, the electron here, each electron here, if the rod is moving with this velocity, this electron is also moving with this velocity. Correct or not? So the electron will feel a magnetic force, which will be given by QVB. Remember this formula? Velocity and magnetic field are perpendicular. So QVB, that will be your magnetic force on the electron. Remember this formula, right? Okay. Because of this force, where will be the force? Electron is negatively charged, remember. Electron is negatively charged. So when electron is moving this way, because of this velocity, it is going that side. So because of the magnetic field, it will experience this force. Direction will be where? V cross B. B is inside. So V cross B will be up. So V cross B will be up. But electrons are negative. So force will be down. So all the electrons will be connected here. Let me write like this. The minus this rod will become negatively charged. This part of the rod will be negatively charged. Agree or not? And if all the electrons try to come this side, then this will be having more electrons. So this will be negatively charged. So this will become positively charged. Understood how I did? Okay. Yeah, let me repeat one more time. Okay, do one thing. Forget about electrons. Forget about electrons. So think positive charges are here. Think that way. It will be easy for you. If positive charges are in this rod, you know that positive charge, electrons are there actually, but think in terms of positive charge, it will be easy to find which end will be positive, which end will be negative. So if there is positive charge in the rod, and if the rod is moving this way, this positive charge is also moving with the rod. And you know from the moving charge and magnetism chapter, first topic, whenever a moving charge is kept in a magnetic field, it experiences a force, VQ, V bar cross B bar. How to find the direction? So if this is where the velocity of the charge is, if this is the magnetic field inside the board, then how to find V cross B this way? From V, you have to go to B. So V cross B, magnetic force will be up on the positive charges. So positive charges will feel force this side, means those positive charges will be collected here and negative charges will be collected here. That is what I am trying to say till now. Nothing extra I am saying. Understood this part? Okay. So positive charges will feel force this way. That way, no, it will be easy to find which end will be positive. Okay. Now listen carefully. The moment this becomes positively charged and this becomes negatively charged, there will be electric field this way. Electric field from positive to negative. So under the action of this electric field, the positive charge will feel a force Q into E. Q into E. My question is, how long how long these charges, positive charges, will keep going till this is the positive charge which is trying to move this way with the rod. So magnetic force V cross B is up. So the positive charges will feel a force this side, because of which this end will become positive. So there will be an electric field from plus to minus, and that electric field will exert this much force, Q into E. Correct? No. So how long these charges will continue to go? Till this force will balance this force. So when magnetic force will balance electric force, that time your QVB will be equal to QE. Q and Q cancels. Q and Q cancels. So E will be equal to VB. Correct? Okay. Now that means there will be a potential difference produced. Agree or not, students? There will be a potential difference produced. Agree or not? Because one end is positive, other end is negative. So when there is potential difference, that EMF you can call as potential difference. So that will be equal to work done per unit charge. Work done by the electric field, remember. So force into displacement from here to here, L by Q. And that force is Q into E. Q cancels. So the EMF will be equal to EL. What is E? VB. So you can write VB into L. Finally, if you rearrange, you will get same formula, BLV. So this is another way to derive the same formula. This you please don't do in your exam. In your exam, you do the one which I taught you previously. But why this derivation is important to understand, at least, not to remember and write in exam. To understand why it is important is because in order to have EMF, in order to have potential difference between these two ends, you don't need any closed loop. You don't need any closed loop. As long as the rod is moving, it will feel a magnetic force. Positive charges here will feel magnetic force this way, which means negative charges will feel force this way. So this end will be negative, this end will be positive. In equilibrium, the magnetic force will be balanced by the electrostatic force. So the work done by the electrostatic force per unit charge is what we call EMF, or potential difference. Now, what you should remember, students, please see carefully. What you should remember is not all these details, beta. No need to remember all these details. What you should remember is this. If there is a rod, listen carefully. If there is a rod which is moving with velocity v in a perpendicular magnetic field and length of the rod is L, then there will be EMF, potential difference, produced between the ends. How to find the direction? Very simple. V, positive charges you assume here, positive charges. So V cross V this way. So force on the positive charges will be this way. So this end will be plus, this end will be minus. In other words, for your NEET exams and CET and JEE exams, what you can do? You can replace this rod by a battery. Whose positive should be here if the rod is moving this way, and the EMF of the battery will be BLB. So this is what you need to remember. Will there be current, students? Will there be current after equilibrium has reached? Will there be current? Will there be current once equilibrium is reached, once the magnetic force is balanced by the electrostatic force? Current will be there or not? That is my question right now in this diagram. Right now, when you have a battery like this, will there be current in the circuit? Where is the circuit first of all? There is no circuit only. So will there be current? Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible or not? Okay, okay. Maybe the internet is slightly slow. So there will be no current. Now see here, students. Suppose I put a circuit now. Suppose I put a circuit. R equals to, okay, like this. Now we are going back to the old one. So if I put a circuit now current will flow. And how will the current flow? See, this is positive, this is negative. So current will flow like this. In this rod, it will flow this way. Already we have seen that. Yeah, it's rainy, so network problem, correct. So as the rod is moving this way, it will act like a battery where current will flow this way. Understanding, no, students? Okay. So this end will be positive. This longer line means positive only. So if you connect this to a external resistance, current will flow. In other words, please remember, moving rod in a magnetic field will act like a battery. Moving rod in a magnetic field will act like a battery perpendicularly. Matlab perpendicularly means what? The velocity should be perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay. On the Friday class, the recorded class, I will tell you some problems based on this kind of concepts. Let me not do it in the regular class. Okay, it will take more time. Okay, so let us see some questions which we can solve for board exams. Motional EMF done. Fleming's right hand rule done. Eddy currents. Very useful for 3 mark. Remember, eddy currents. Okay. So why it is called eddy current? Okay, eddies means what, students? Anyone has heard of this before? Eddies. Eddies means whirlpools. Whirlpools. I hope you know that in river, in some certain river, when you go, if the low pressure area is there, low pressure area, the water will spin like this. Have you seen? Some of you have seen. Water will spin like this. Yeah, it is very dangerous, students. If you try to go near that, no, it will suck you. Why it will suck you? Because it's low pressure area. So once you go there, you know, it will be very difficult to come out. So eddies matlab whirlpools, and whirlpools matlab something going like this. And you have heard in advertise also whirlpool, like that they will do. So washing machine, no, things will rotate like this. Okay. So why it is called eddy current? Let us try to understand. Let us go back to yesterday's class. Yesterday's class, if you remember, I told you, if you take a loop, if you take a loop, conducting loop, not plastic loop. Plastic loop matlab electrons will not be there. No. So how will you get current? Free electrons will not be there. So take a conducting loop and bring a magnet and move the magnet. So move the magnet means what? Change the magnetic field here. So change magnetic field. So when the magnetic field will change, you know there will be current produced. But why is there current produced? Current is produced because the moment magnetic field will change, there will be induced electric field produced like this. Induced electric field. Induced electric field. And when you put this wire, the electrons in the wire will feel the force because of the induced electric field. Okay, students. So what this experiment means is, listen carefully. In a certain region, suppose I have magnetic field like this. Listen carefully. Very important. In a certain region, if I have magnetic field like this, how can I produce this? You can take a solenoid and pass current like this. So if you keep the solenoid vertically, magnetic field will be like this, downwards. So in this region, imagine there is magnetic field. Okay. Now, if I put here some loop here, then as this magnetic field changes, flux through this loop will change or not? As this magnetic field changes, flux through this loop will change. Flux is magnetic field into area. As flux will change, what Faraday told, EMF will be induced, current will flow. But current will flow if you put wire. If you put wire, correct? No. What if I don't put wire? Then what will be produced? Then there will be electric field lines. Electric field lines. Electric field lines. These are your electric field lines. Which way will be the electric field lines? This way or that way? Lenz's law we have to use. If the flux is increasing, let's say, if the magnetic field is increasing, so the flux is this flux is increasing. To oppose this flux, if there was a wire, current should flow this way. Agree? That much you tell, because this is important. If flux is increasing this way, if there was a wire, current should flow this way to oppose the increasing flux. Agree that much? Current should flow this way. Correct? Okay. If current should flow this way, that means if you don't keep the wire, no problem, there will be electric field this way. So this is how you have to find the direction of electric field. Okay, students, is this electrostatic field? No. This is a electric field produced by not charges. It is electric field produced by changes in magnetic field. Changes in magnetic field. And this kind of electric field, I have given one name. What was the name? Yes, super. Induced electric field. Induced electric field. And they are closed loops. They are closed loops. See, same way, suppose this is the region in which there is magnetic field. And suppose this magnetic field is decreasing. So if this magnetic field is decreasing, your induced current here, your induced current, if there was a wire, the induced current should flow this way, so that this magnetic field will support this decreasing magnetic field. So if there was a wire, current should flow this way, so that this current will produce magnetic field which will support this decreasing flux. To support somebody which is, to oppose somebody which is decreasing like this, you have to support. You have to support, sorry, because it is decreasing, right? So if current will flow like this, it means what? If there is no wire, then there has to be electric field produced this way. And when you put wire here, this electric field will drive the electrons this way. So electrons will go this way, so current will be this way. Fine, students, except this much you understood? If some revision is needed, tell me. Okay, so one last time we will just recollect once. Look here, if magnetic field is changing this way, electric field will be produced like this. If magnetic field is changing this way, electric field will be like this or like this. So please remember that. So what are eddy currents? Now it is easy to understand. Without discussing this, it is not possible to understand eddy currents. So what are eddy currents? Very simple. Look here. If you have a metallic sheet, metal sheet or conductor, solid, okay, solid, and you keep it in a magnetic field. This is sheet, okay, solid body, solid. And if the magnetic field is changing, then you know there will be electric fields produced like this, like this, like this. Yes or no? So under the action of this electric field, the electrons will move and create current. That current is what we call eddy current. That current is what we call eddy current. So how to write the definition for board exam? The circulating current, as Tejaswini was saying, the circulating current produced in a solid conductor when a changing magnetic field is applied to the conductor. See students, definition is 1 mark only, but to understand this, so much we have to discuss. So the circulating current produced in a solid conductor when a changing magnetic field, this word is the most important word, when a changing magnetic field is applied to the conductor, that is called eddy currents. Done? I will share some pictures in Google Classroom to understand this more easily. Solid metric. Sir, can you please explain again through that solid metric? So if you have a solid conductor, see, forget about solid conductor Prakriti once. Forget about solid conductor. Imagine you have magnetic field like this. And if the magnetic field is changing, then if I put a wire here, what happened? I told, if you put a wire here and magnetic field is changing, then there will be current induced in the wire. But why is there current induced? To produce current, electrons should be driven by force. And the only force here that is possible is force by electric field. So what actually happens is, whether there is wire or no wire, forget the wire. If there is magnetic field like this, changing in space, changing, that word changing is important. So if this magnetic field is changing, then there will be electric field produced in this way at different parts like this. Okay, like circular loops it will be. So these electric fields are called induced electric field. It has to be, no, otherwise we have no way to explain why we are getting current. So since this discovery was done, people started saying, sir, you are not a teacher in, but I may not be a teacher, but I am a student. I have joined as a student and I keep posting. Yes, last time also I posted one picture. Have you seen? Other students have seen? So from now on, I will post it. Okay, but I have already posted it. Okay. So some students are saying yes, some are saying no. So I'll try to check that part. Okay. But I have posted one picture to show you how magnetic field lines are removed from a certain region by using iron box. Okay. First, let us try to clear Prakriti's doubt. So when this magnetic field is changing matlab it can be increasing or decreasing. Then there will be electric field produced like this. Then there will be electric field produced like this. Okay, correct. There will be electric field produced like this. Now the electric field can be either this way or this way. For that, what will you do? Use which law? Lenz's law. So if magnetic field is increasing this way, to oppose this, you have to produce this magnetic field. So electric field should be in this direction. So that if you put a wire, current will flow this way. Understanding or not? So we have understood, if there is magnetic field like this, there will be electric field lines produced like this everywhere. Okay, now. So if I put a metallic sheet here or any metal conductor, what this circulating electric field will do, Prakriti? this circulating electric field will make the free electrons move in that electric field. Agree or not? Charges feel force in electric field. So that circulating electric field will produce circulating currents, and that current is what we call eddy current. Is it okay, Prakriti? Understood? Okay, fine. Now students, for 3 marks, they will ask you uses of eddy currents. Uses of eddy currents. Okay, you just have to write the topic. That's it. No need to explain each topic. Just write this use, this use, this use. That much you have to write. So first, second, third. Let me write the first one. The first one is what we call magnetic inductive furnace. Inductive furnace. Okay. So this only this much you have to write in exam. Only this much. No need to explain. But I will explain it so that you understand. Furnace means what? Furnace is a place where you produce heat. Where you produce heat, right? Okay. Now suppose you want to make a gold ring, let's say, or gold earring or something. What we do, people usually do, they will melt the gold and they will cast it into different shapes, right? No, instead of using fumes and all, because you have to use fire, and that fire will produce some pollution. Instead of using that fire, what we can do is, you take the gold metal, gold is a metal, take the gold piece and apply high frequency changing magnetic field. So you have to put it inside a solenoid where the current is changing very fast. So when the current is changing very fast, magnetic field will change very fast. That very high, very fast changing magnetic field will produce huge EMF. Agree or not? What was the formula for EMF produced? d phi by dt. Correct? No, d phi by dt in magnitude. If you change the flux very quickly, time taken will be very small or very large. If you change the flux very quickly, time taken will be very small or very large. Time taken to change, very small. So if time taken is very, very small, your EMF will be very, very large. And if your EMF is very, very large, current produced will be very, very large. And if current is very large, the heat produced in the wire, heat, I square R. So that heat, or you can write electrical power. So if the current is very large, the heat produced in that conductor will be exceedingly high, and that will melt the gold. So instead of using fire or something, you can just apply very fast changing magnetic field. Such a furnace is what we call inductive furnace. Again, no need to explain in exam, only write the topic. Okay, now to understand the other two applications, listen carefully. Suppose you have a metallic body like this, and you make it oscillate. Take it till here and then you leave it. It will oscillate, and due to air resistance, all its energy whichever I have given, the kinetic energy, that will be lost to the air. So ultimately it will stop. Let us say it took 10 seconds. Now listen carefully. If instead you make this oscillate, here also you make it oscillate, but as it oscillates, you apply a magnetic field. So what happens? As you apply the magnetic field, see what happens. As it is moving, this time we are not changing the magnetic field, we are moving the conductor in the magnetic field. Okay, go back to the first class. What I told, suppose this is a circular wire. if I move the magnet, current is produced here. Yes or no? If I move the magnet, current is produced here. Yes or no? Yes. Now, instead of that, you can do this also. Keep the magnet here, move the rod, move the conductor. Then also current will be produced, because even if you move this, magnetic field seen by this will keep changing. Correct now? So, if you move the conductor in a magnetic field like this, then it will stop ultimately, but it will take less than 10 seconds, maybe 2 seconds. Maybe 2 seconds. So this is one of the CET question they have asked. So first what they did, they made a metallic body oscillate. It stopped in 10 seconds. This time they made it oscillate in a magnetic field. It stopped quickly. Can you tell me why it stopped quickly? Then here. Why it stopped quickly? Because there will be eddy currents produced. Why eddy currents will be produced? Because it is moving in a magnetic field. So it will keep seeing changes in magnetic field. So as it sees changes in magnetic field, as it sees changes in magnetic field, EMF will be produced, eddy currents will be produced in the bulk of the material, and once eddy currents are produced, it will always result in heat loss. Heat loss. Understood? So here the energy of the pendulum was given only to air resistance. But here, besides air resistance, there will be also heat loss. There will be also heat loss. Very good. So based on this, we have another two applications. One is called dead beat galvanometer. Dead beat galvanometer. Very interesting name. Dead beat galvanometer. Why such a name is given? Let us remember galvanometer. In galvanometer, you had a needle, remember? And there was a coil. And there was magnet. So there was magnetic field like this. Remember or not? So when you pass current in this coil, because of the torque, it rotates. As it rotates, the needle will rotate. Somewhere here in equilibrium, if you remember, I told the restoring torque will be balanced by the deflecting torque. Remember or not? So then it will come to rest. But students, actually nothing comes to rest in equilibrium, right? See, for this pendulum, this is the equilibrium position. If I leave it from here, does it come to rest here? Does it come here and stop? If you take the pendulum, you know this is the equilibrium position. So if you take the pendulum here and leave it, it will not stop here. It will overshoot. It will oscillate. Finally, it will stop here. Finally. But in case, so that is what exactly happens in galvanometer. So if this is your equilibrium position, at this position, it will be in equilibrium. But as it is getting deflected, it will come like this. It will cross this point, then it will feel torque this side, so it will oscillate. Now you want this oscillation to die faster or slower. You want these oscillations to die faster. You want these oscillations to die faster so that you can read. You can read what is the current. Suppose you are passing 2 ampere current. So the needle should go and stop at 2 ampere. It should not go like this and say, I am 2.1, no, I am 1.8, no, I am 2.2, like that. It should not oscillate. So you want this oscillation to die faster. And that is what happens because there is a metallic frame. When magnetic field is applied, in that, as it is moving in a magnetic field, eddy currents are produced. Because of that, heat loss happens. Because of that, it loses its mechanical energy faster, like in that pendulum example I told. So that application of eddy currents is called dead beat galvanometer. Again, students, for exam, just write. I think now you understood why it is called dead beat. So we are killing the oscillation by beating it with magnetic field. Last one is called magnetic braking in electric trains. Magnetic braking in electric trains. So what happens is, in those electric trains, the wheels will be metals. So as you want to stop them, from the sides we apply huge superconducting wires will be used, huge magnetic fields will be produced. As it is moving in magnetic field, eddy currents will be produced. When eddy currents are produced, heat loss occurs, and that heat loss comes from where? From the mechanical energy. So if you give some mechanical energy to the pendulum, and if the energy is getting lost as heat, then it will come to stop quickly, remember. So these two are basically based on magnetic damping. Okay, students, so please revise motional EMF. These three you just memorize it, no problem. As far as possible, I try to explain all these things. Later in higher classes, you will learn how to reduce the eddy currents. I will tell you for entrance also how to reduce the eddy currents and everything. But please revise motional EMF, how to find induced current, which end of the rod will be positive depending on how it moves today itself. Okay, so we'll stop for today because next class next topic I don't want to start now. Any questions are there, you can ask. And as I told to all the other branches, please make a group. It will help me to help you. That's it. Thank you. If some particular question is there, you can ask me. And attendance will be taken regularly. And AC people, I have told them, if they don't inform me and get absent, okay, I will not have any kind of help or relationship or anything. I will not help you in any way. Later also, when classes will start, you will come to know. So please attend the classes regularly. Your parents are spending a lot of money, and therefore I have the responsibility to check that you people are attending the classes. Tomorrow 6, no. Yeah, sorry. Kirti, do one thing, give me a call. Okay, those who want to discuss more about this, you can give me a call. The idea is changes in magnetic field will result in eddy currents. Or another way to say is, when a conductor is moving in a magnetic field, if you are moving in some area, you will see different things, right? Similarly, if you are moving in a magnetic field in and out, you will feel different magnetic field. The magnetic flux through the material will keep changing. That will produce eddy currents in a bulk material. Remember, it has to be a solid material. So that current will result in heat, Kirti. So that heat which is produced, from where it will come? From the mechanical energy of the body only. So basically what happens, the mechanical energy will be lost to the heat. Therefore, it comes to stop quickly. Now, details, if you want to know how exactly at what angle we have to apply, North Pole, South Pole, where we have to keep, all that details you have to study in engineering. Understood, Kirti? Okay. So everything I will not be teaching you, because application part will never be very clear. Application part will never be very clear, because application means what? You have to know who is applying it. So you have to know the working of who is using it. Understood, no? Okay. Thank you. Carmel students, please try to open a group, and other Cordial students and Oxford students. Thank you.